Hello everyone. Today we have with us one of my closest friend, Yagya Sharma from my college days. She went to NICMAR for her construction management PG program and then went on to do job in the same field. So let us know more about her and her career. And from that you can take out your points and that will help you in your career as well. So first of all, hello Yagya. We would like to know, just start with your introduction, like about your college and then your journey onwards.
Right, right. So I did my graduation in STSITS Indore, and post that I was thinking about like what to do after graduation, and I was more interested into the business side of the construction, and hence I decided to join NICMAR Pune, and over there it was an 18 months program, diploma graduate program, and over there after that we got into like placement, campus placement, and into I've always been into real estate jobs, so in real estate companies. So I went to Brookfield Multiplex in Dubai, and I was there working for almost 1 year, and I came back to India and I worked one more year for Brookfield Multiplex. Post that I joined Godrej Properties Limited, uh, and, and that's it for now.
So let's break down the whole thing. There are many things in this whole process that a lot of students will find useful. So first of all, your decision to go for construction management. I mean, you briefly told that you had the inclination in the business side of the construction. So just if you can elaborate that point, and where did NICMAR fall in that case?
Right. So the thing is that during the 4 years of the college, we have been taught so many subjects like environmental studies, water resources, structural engineering. So all those subjects were very good, but I decided that I was more interested into not to the what part, like the how part. I've always been interested in doing an MBA. But the thing was that after doing 4 years in engineering, I felt, I should carry on that forward. And I did not want to lose touch with the civil engineering part. So, and I was also interested in the management part also to study about that more. So hence, I came across many institutes, while studying, like, where I can pursue construction management. There are many institutes which offer these days construction management programs. There's NICMAR Pune, and along with their other branches also in Goa and Hyderabad. And there are some triple ITs also which give nice MTech construction management programs. There's a University RICS in Noida also. But after like going through all of that, I felt I was more suitable for NICMAR Pune. And because it's the oldest institute which is giving construction management programs, it's the flagship program, advanced construction management. They also run many other programs like IFTM, which is like infrastructure management program, and there is PM programs also, which is not for civil engineers but like a project management program for all the like mechanical, civil, even IT students sometimes go and join that. So this is the more industry-based course. It will directly tell you that, how is the industry. You will get an overview of the whole industry, construction industry in India, and not like complete overseas. Mostly in UAE, you'll get an oversight like how things are running over there. How do construction projects from the feasibility studies, they come to the whole completion. So this is more of like NICMAR curriculum was offering. And I was really interested in that, and hence I decided to join.
Okay, so yeah, that's a nice part. Like all of the, like even if you go for MTech or any other program, the industrial aspect is generally missing. So
yes.
So coming to the actual program, like can you tell us briefly about the kind of subjects that you go through and like training or whatever, such things?
So this is like almost a 2-year program. So in the starting 1 year, the thing is that they teach you all the subjects which are critical to the construction part also, and they teach you the courses which are important for the management part also. So there was a fine balance between these two subjects. On one hand, if we were learning like marketing, financial studies, we were learning about HR, which are like general management courses. In any other MBA, you'll find that. Along with that, we were also learning new upcoming construction technology techniques. We were learning about the construction equipments and the machinery, the recent machinery. For instance, we learned about tunnel machinery, which is very awesome to learn, and which we did not learn in the graduation part. We come to know what are the breakthroughs in constructions which are happening right now, and how do people manage that. There are big bridges, or if there are some high-rise buildings. So what is the upcoming latest technology which is being used? So we won't go into much detail in those courses, but we'll learn the basics of it. So if a person ahead is interested, so they'll not be blindsided. They'll be knowing what is going on. So this helps not only in India, which is coming up with right now. If we see the major infrastructure projects which are going on in India, they are also using new technology. So this curriculum helped us to get to know all these new things which are going around us. And we also got to know around the machinery and also the part where you learn planning of these projects, the contracts part, which is the most important. I would feel later on I worked in this contracts part also. Like, how is vendor management done? If you are if you want to build a project and you are the client part, you are hiring a contractor. So what are the terms and conditions, and how do these contracts are being formed? But it's very interesting. You learn a side of the law part also into it, and the FIDIC rules, the international rules, the contract clauses and all, like force majeure and time is of essence and all those kind of things. You also learn about standard real estate practices regarding safety procedures, which are in very decent projects in India. Also, you'll see very good safety regulations, and you learn about major companies which are practicing it. So we learned all of that in this, and we also learned renewable energy resources, non-renewable energy resources, how to make a project more sustainable, the green part of it. If you want to, there's also a chance you can learn IGBC guidelines in the curriculum also. So we learned how to make the project more green. What are the upcoming standards, green standards? Like there's LEED, there's IGBC. We learned more about these institutions and how these ratings are done. And as a planner, as a part of a management team in the construction, how do you make sure that these practices are imbibed itself in the construction practices, from the very feasibility studies to the end. We also learned the finance part of the project, how to manage the budget, and how to we also learn Primavera, Microsoft Project. These are the two tools which I learned in NICMAR. Which not only monitors the project's progress, but it also monitors the project resources in terms of money, in terms of human resources. So you have got everything in one screen, and you can see, you can monitor, you can control all these resources also along the same time. So which was really interesting for me. And these are all things which we learned in the 18 months part, along with the internship of the 3 months. Which is you get opportunity to work in good companies as internship also, and later in the placement also.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So coming to the placement part, we would like to know what's the placement scenario in NICMAR, and then your placement journey as well.
The thing is that NICMAR is not an AICTE approved course; it's a CIRO recognized course. So this is actually an industry recognized course. Industry, everybody in the industry knows what is NICMAR, and they know about the students and their credentials and what they have learned. And this institute has been for more than, I think, 30 years in Pune, NICMAR Pune, if I talk about it. So major companies are looking for NICMAR graduates because they feel that they have an edge over other BTech candidates. because we have learned more about the construction and the management part. So the thing is that you definitely get many companies which are coming into the placement. But the thing is that it depends on the market situation. The thing was like when I was graduating from NICMAR, there were around 600 students, in the whole batch, and there were not many that companies who were looking for. There was not much demand as there was supply. So definitely placement is very tricky, and I think placements in all institutes are difficult. But the thing is, once you have a big, strength of students, which wants to, you have to get them placed. There are very limited number of companies. I mean, construction industry, there are very few limited players in the market, good players in the market. Most of the times what you see is that in big cities like Delhi, Pune, or Mumbai or Bangalore, these are the real estate hubs. So over there, you'll find many good companies working. And these are the places where generally NICMAR students go. If you talk about in India, overseas, there's Dubai, which is also, real estate hub. There's big companies over there also. And over there also they're looking. But apart from all these cities and apart from some tier 2 cities like Ahmedabad, which are upcoming right now, or Indore for that matter, so there are very limited roles for people, and they want really expert people in that. They want experienced people in that. Nobody wants to there are very few reluctant companies which they offer a very good training program also, that you hire a fresher and you train them. Generally it does not happen in construction. On the first day you're shown to your sites. So this is more of a learning on the job. So placements are very difficult. You won't get your what you feel, this is what package I'm looking for, this is the role I'm looking for. There's no guarantee for it in NICMAR. That's what I feel. So it's more about you play your best and you hope for the best and you get. Because during my time, I think there were so many companies which came and went, and they shortlisted very few people finally. So of course it's difficult, and but I was lucky enough to go to Brookfield Multiplex, which was a very good firm to join into as a fresher. Because over there, the teams are very good. Everything is very organized. They, the colleagues are over there. They're very, willing to teach you everything, your seniors and your peers. So, I was lucky enough to go into Brookfield Multiplex, but there are many people who were not placed by the end of the season. They got placed eventually, but it was not a very easy road. I would say that. But the companies which come during the placements, you get many variety, which generally you are not, getting when you are graduating in the BTech. Like you'll get consultancy companies, then there are, infra companies. You have Deloitte comes in, PwC comes in, Ernst & Young comes in. There are many fit out interior companies from the south, which are very, they come and they take people. They are like upcoming real estate companies like Godrej, Lodha. So these all companies came in my year, and they picked many students. So it was good, but yeah, it was a bit difficult path, I would say.
Yeah, I think that the ratio becomes little more difficult to handle like that. Right? So going further into your journey, as you were telling that you got placed and went to Dubai for working. So we would like to know the nature of your job, the kind of projects that you got to work with, and like what were the things that you got to learn as a fresher?
I was selected as a planner in Brookfield Multiplex, and over there I learned the planning of the construction projects using Primavera. Basically, my role was like to assist the project manager of the main project in regarding the making the whole construction program, and scheduling all the activities, learning the critical path of the current project status, like what is the critical path, which activities delaying, which might be a hindrance later on to for the handover date. So I used to prepare status reports, daily reports, monthly reports, and planning is a very interesting profile to work in because you get to work with many other teams along with you. You get to work with the site execution team directly. You get to work with the costing team. You get to work with the safety team. You get to work with the quality teams. You get inputs from all of them, and you are always in touch with the project manager, and you're always getting inputs from the project manager and giving him or her also regarding how the project is progressing. So planner is a very, very important person in the whole project construction project. That person is supposed to know what is the smallest thing of the project to up to the biggest thing of the projects. So you have to be on your toes all the time, and the learning is maximum, also the pressure is also the maximum, but you get to learn a lot in a very short time. So I was into planning and I assisted. So there are 2-3 planners hierarchy. There's one junior planner, then there's an assistant planner, and there's the head planner. Head planner looks across all the ongoing projects, and then the assistant planner is the person who is just assigned to one project. So I was assigned to just one project, and I was helping with that.
Okay, and then I mean, after that you shifted your role, you came back to India and worked in Godrej. So yeah, so tell us more about that and how it was different than the previous role.
So planning was very amazing to learn, and it was also a very challenging role also because you have to be on the site every time, at least 2-3 hours on site every time. And when I joined contracts and procurement team, I was always interested in contracts part since NICMAR days. So I was ready to go into that. And contracts and procurement is a very different field because over there, obviously you have to read the contracts and you have to know all the contract terminology. It's basically, it's not exactly like learning law, but it's close to it. So it's agreement is where the client and the contractor comes in, and they agree to certain terms and conditions regarding the project, like what would be the cost, what would be the schedule, what will be the working hours, all from every smallest thing is captured into the contracts. And obviously in every project there is a dispute. We see that there is no project, I don't find any projects that has not undergone any kind of dispute between the contractor and the client, or like a subcontractor, or between labor, whatever the reason might be. There's always a dispute in that, because that's where the contracts person comes in to resolve those disputes. So it's very interesting because you get to know in how many ways a project can get screwed, and what kind of disputes come in, which is very interesting. It's a very experience to learn that in the next project, you'll be careful to look out for that. So in that way, in the process where you have, vendor management also comes in. You learn there are so many vendors which are on board in a construction project, like there's an MEP team, there's a finishing team, there is a civil contractor, there is a facade contractor. These contracts either are given to the one agency, like if there is a big company like Tata Projects, so they'll be responsible for everything, but they'll themselves hire other subcontractors for that project. So there are many ways a contract is formed. And basically, at the end of the day, you have to save your own skin and you have to save the project also. So that way, contracts and procurement is very, interesting to learn. And NICMAR had a very good faculty in contracts and procurement. There was Professor Ganguly who taught us, was amazing and who taught us really well. And he also taught us, FIDIC, the international process also. So which really helped. And obviously when you're on the field, so it's a very different thing. It's very different from the books. At that time, you have to learn what's already there. And so you learn about dispute management, you learn about project management, you learn about vendor management, through contracts. You learn about what are the current rates which are going on of steel, cement, which is very important to know. Like, mostly people are very unaware, कि cement का क्या rate चल रहा है, steel का क्या rate चल रहा है. These are very important things to know during a project. What is the basic cost of all these three items: concrete, steel, cement, and there are some basic rate items. There are some item rate items which come in, and you also get to learn you also get to work with many vendors like UPVC vendors. There's so many players. There's so many companies which give UPVC windows. You have wooden floorings. You have wardrobes. You have modular kitchens. There are many agencies which in the market are coming up, and you get to learn about them, and you get to meet many people around you. So it's very interesting. I find contracts and procurement was very interesting.
I think
And
basically
it's
like
very interesting.
yeah. So in I think in the theoretical part we just get to know the size of windows, and at max you will be learning this window is like wooden window or whatever. But what is going on in the actual market? What is the situation right now, and who are the people who are doing
what you learn about the quality of the products also. If you are representing a company and you are willing to make the decision of buying for that company, like for instance I was in Godrej, I was a part of the procurement team, so I'm responsible how the company's money is going out. It's like my own money. If you buy a phone, you think so many things about before buying a phone. It's same, before making any decision from whom to buy concrete, steel, cement, you're very responsible. You have to do your research. You have to know what are the payment terms. You have to know what the quality is offering. If some person is offering a thing for 100 rupees and the other person is offering same thing for 102 rupees, you have to know the reason why. So here the tender part also comes up. You learn about tendering also. Generally, people read in newspaper the tender notices which come out, but it's a huge process. It's a 6 months process, and I got to learn that in Godrej also, like how to form tenders, how to negotiate during the meetings, how to negotiate over the terms and conditions, over the rates, and to see the other person's perspective, the contractor's perspective, that why that person is willing to do this for this rate. So you are always, you have to develop good negotiation skills, you develop good math skills, you develop good business skills. So that's how I think this role really helped me to learn actually the business side of the contracts, because this is the way you are saving money for your company. If the company has budgeted X crores for this rupee, for say they're said this will spend 10 crores out of 300 crores for UPVC windows, and we find a person who is offering UPVC windows, say for like you close the deal at 8 crores, so you're saving 2 crores for your company, which is it's a big deal. So this is how you can help the company also to save the money at of course without compromising the quality of anything.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of students won't know that they can make their whole career in the tendering part itself, or understanding this contract part and the legal side of this whole construction. It's like a whole, you can make your career in that. That's most of the thing that I had in mind. So what I would like to know, like, I mean, from wherever, I mean, you have been to these different places, you've had your learning experiences. So we have seen like there were some drawbacks, there were things that we missed in the past that we should have learned. So from those young aspiring students and engineers who are thinking of going in this field, what do you suggest them? What can they work on in their early days, like let's say when they are in some second year in their college? So what are the things they can focus on from there?
First and foremost, I would say that even if you are in second year, first year, if you have chosen civil engineering, you should always be ready to stand on the site for 2 hours minimum. You should have that kind of physical stamina, mental stamina, and you should always be ready to learn on the site. Because without that, if you're not doing that, your seniors won't respect you, and you will never learn really anything. So whoever, in whatever year the person is, they must always be, even if some other construction is going on, they should go there and find out how things are happening. And so, first of all, they should have that kind of sustenance to stand on the projects at site. That's very, very important. The other important aspect is like I would say to improve on the computer skills, the Excel skills, and if it's possible, learn Primavera Microsoft project beforehand. Like even if you're not going for a construction management course, there's nobody stopping you not to learn these courses. I mean, there are many good online courses also from where you can learn. So I would suggest them to learn, whatever scheduling tools that are in, to learn CP and Word. And also, like whichever city you are in, mostly the thing is that construction is a very regional kind of thing. Companies generally choose you from like for instance, if there's a South Indian, there are like 90% chances that a company will prefer them to their regional zone because it's very easy to learn. There are no language barriers. In the end, I think the labor force which comes in, you have to talk to them in the regional languages. So basically, whatever city you are in, you must learn all the municipal laws which are the construction. What are the timings, what are the construction practices, what are the laws over there, what's the rates going on in that place. To be more aware about all these things, about the rates, about the laws, about bylaws, and about the environmental laws also. Like for instance, in Delhi, there are so many stringent laws regarding all. There's no dust to be allowed after 6 p.m. No, there's NGT ban during the winter season because of the pollution. There is no construction mostly ever in the sector. So I think students should be aware of all these activities to be more aware.
Yeah, that makes sense. And with that, I think that would be all from my side, all the questions that I had. And I think that this session would be really helpful for all our students, and whoever is considering their career in this field, they will be really benefited from it. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.